Okay. Hi. So it's been a while since I used my camera because I've just been having a lot of like tech issues, but I'm gonna try and fix that because I just for me, I need to and I want to, but I kind of just wanted to talk because I don't know like where to start. I guess I'll just start like at the beginning. Ever since I was like a young kid, I've had like really severe anxiety and just things like that. I didn't know that it was abnormal at the time. I thought it was I don't know, I didn't think much of it, but I remember I would call out of school a lot. Like my parents would kind of, I don't know, they'd get me out for the day. Why is my battery dying? Oh, hold on. Wow, really? Are you f***ing kidding me? So I had to stop recording because I didn't charge my battery right and I'm just really dumb. I feel like it's crooked, that's gonna bother me. Oh jeez. Okay. I guess if something's straight, it's really like a matter of perspective, so I don't know why I'm fiddling so much. Well, I do. Hold on. Do you want to leave? I swear that every time I start recording, my dog like has to either come in or come out. Well, she's doing that constantly anyway, but I feel like every time I start recording, it's like, there she is. I don't know where I was, so I'm just gonna start from the beginning, like I said. So when I was young, I didn't think that there was really anything wrong with me or that I was different in a negative way or anything like that. I thought I was like special and a genius and whatever, because that's just what your parents tell you and you know, believe it sometimes. So that's just kind of what I thought, you know, was that I was fine. Like, if anything, I was great. So I didn't, I'm sorry, I'm like not in the right frame of mind. It's like, it's just been a weird day and like I wanted to record this earlier but things come up and I don't know, I'm just in a weird mental space. But I you know, I'd get like pulled out of school, not pulled out of school, but I'd like take days off and my parents would like help me take days off because, you know, sorry, it's so much talking. Just talking about this is giving me anxiety, so I apologize. So you know, my parents would like help me get out of school or whatever, and to give me more time to do my work. And to be honest, it's not like I couldn't do my work. I've always been like, I was in the GATE program, I've always been good at school, like, you know, and I know that's just, I'm not saying like I'm smart. I think there's a lot of different kinds of smart, but I just happen to be kind of book smart at the time. It's not that I couldn't do the work, it's just that like I would get so stressed out and I'd have to do everything perfect that like it would take me forever to do an assignment, and just looking at the assignment would give me like really terrible like what I know now is anxiety and like panic attacks and whatever. But my family was always like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you being so, you know? I didn't find this out till much later, but even teachers would give notes back like that I put too much information when I was writing. Like, my answers were too long, and it's because I didn't want to miss any details. What I know now is that that was the beginning of my like obsessive compulsive tendencies. I say that because when I was in therapy, my therapist said that I didn't have OCD because that's obsessive compulsive disorder, and a disorder is more severe and would inhibit your life. I think my obsessive compulsive tendencies are just kind of well, obviously all of them are kind of a side effect of anxiety, but I have probably more of a generalized anxiety disorder if I had to guess, but that I do have obsessive compulsive tendencies. And I just realized my tripod's broken. Wow. That I have like these tendencies that kind of make me like anal retentive, or everything has to be perfect, or when I would highlight, I felt like I had to highlight the whole sentence, or I had to have a certain number like of words. Like I couldn't have the number 6, like I couldn't have 6 words highlighted, it had to be 7, and then if I highlighted another word it would be like, oh wait, but then it doesn't make sense, I have to highlight the next word, like stuff like that. Just really benign weird things that the normal human brain, and I'm sure you watching are like, unless you relate, in which case, hi, welcome. But you know, if you're have a normal functioning brain in that department, at least, you may not be normal in other ways, but at least you're normal in that way, that sounds weird to you or doesn't really make any sense. I'm sorry, I'm so annoyed right now. Like, there's just too much sound going on and I'm like it's really hard for me. I'm trying to just like stay focused on this video and I really can't. And I'm just like, I'm getting really annoyed already. Like, I'm just freaking out over even explaining this is really, really bothering me. Stuff like that, like even when I do little things to this day, I still have to do things in a certain number. Things like that, I edit it out. I don't want to make it obvious or whatever. The little stupid things like me adjusting the camera exact amount of times, like just doing little movements because I'm just having, I need to do it a certain amount of times. Like stuff like that, I leave it out. Or the fact that I don't touch my door handle because I'm afraid of germs, so I use my shirt and I like, you know, cover my hand with my shirt. I can't see it, but I don't want to flash you. It's like a very big part of my life. My friends don't know about it. My family, like, they know about it, but I think whenever I've brought it up, they seem to not understand. To be honest, I feel like they don't understand, which is fine. They obviously, you can't understand something that you're not going through. I mean, you can try, but you know, you can't fully understand it. I think one of the only people who knows like in depth everything is John, who, if you watch my other videos, which no one does, he's my boyfriend, and we've been together for like 6 years, obviously on and off. He's like my best friend and he knows like literally everything about me. He's kind of the one that makes me feel like he's very supportive of this, and that it's like a therapy for me to talk to the camera. So, you know, I don't want anyone to think that I'm like asking for any kind of sympathy or like trying to make any kind of money off of this or anything like that. I'm literally just, I want to reach out because I'm frustrated. I feel very lonely. I feel misunderstood, and I don't feel like I have a lot of people who get what I'm going through exactly, and I want to just be more open and live my life in an open way. And it would mean like the world to me to find people who like understand me and know me for me and love me for me. So I think that's just like, to me, that's what YouTube is. Like, that's what YouTube is for me. So I guess I'm just obsessed with it because I'm obsessed with chasing that dream. But anyway, so getting back to what I was talking about, at around 14 was when things really hit the fan. I went on a trip to San Francisco and then Washington with my family. It was a road trip. We drove the whole way. We live in Southern California, so we just drove like all the way up the West Coast basically. And I just remember like I was very like scared of demons and the exorcists and stuff like that. I don't even like saying it, like talking about it really like bothers me, and I was getting very severe anxiety because of that. And so I started, like, it was really intense. Like all of a sudden I was like, I have to wash my hands as many times, I have to use hand sanitizer. Like this is probably the worst it's ever been, and it's because I didn't realize what was going on. Every time I thought about the exorcist, I had to wash my hands or sanitize them, and I couldn't like touch anything. No joke. Like, just if I thought about it. So of course every time I wash my hands, give it another 5 minutes, I think about it and my hands are contaminated basically. And I know that to me even that sounds insane, because even though I've still have my tendencies, they're a lot more controlled now, so they're not even close to that level. But like it was insane. Like it was really crazy, and it was just so bad. That whole trip was so bad. And I remember my parents were just like, why are you so like upset and uptight? And I was just so angry because I was really having this, I was battling with my anxiety, but it was so deeply repressed that I did not know what was going on. I got home and I still struggled with it. At one point I kind of broke down and told my mom and my sister, because they were like, why do you keep washing your hands? And I told them, but I don't know, I don't think I fully understood at that time. So it never got resolved. I just lived like that for a long time. It was on and off. It would come in waves. Sometimes it would be gone. I felt like completely, and I was like, oh, it's gone. And then it would come back stronger or whatever. And it got really bad when I was 15. I started doing drugs. I started doing a lot of things, mostly because I was suffering so much and I didn't know what I was going through, but I was lost. So I was looking for anything that could help make me feel better, even if that feeling of better was temporary. I started like, you know, like hooking up with people, a lot of stuff, and that pretty much continued throughout high school until I met John. I met John way earlier. I met John when I had started having my anxiety problems, but I didn't know him that well, and he was dating my friend at the time. Yeah, I didn't really get to know him, but we were friends and we became closer. We had like a friend group going on, whatever, so, and that's, you know, whatever. But me and him would flirt a lot, and it was complicated and a mess, and, you know, teenagers, so it was fine, whatever. Junior going on senior year, or my junior year, I was in a show with him. In that show we started to get closer. By the end of it we were like, you know, and you know, my mom basically found out that I was like seeing him. She was not happy about it. She sent me to therapy basically because we just had fights after fights about that and lots of stuff, and then finally she's like, you know, I'm like, I'm not happy, and she's like, well, do you want to go to therapy? And I went, sure. Like, I didn't really want to, but I wanted something because I was so desperate to just be better. So I went to therapy, and when I started going to therapy, me and John became official, and so I was really on an up because I started to get better. I started healing. I, you know, was sober, and not that I had a drug problem or anything, you know, it was nothing crazy like that, because now I like, okay, I'm over 21, so I drink or whatever, like I have fun, it's not a big deal anymore. But I know for me at the time, like the people that I was around, they started like getting into like hard stuff, and I didn't. So I'm just glad that I didn't continue down that path. And John at the time was like very straight edge, like goody two shoes boy, like, you know, because we were both under 21. He was 19 and I was 17. So yeah, we were just young kids, and I was getting better, but I still was battling a lot of those demons, especially in the early part of my relationship with him. By the end of my senior year of high school, my therapist left because she wasn't a permanent therapist. She was like studying at the place that I went to therapy. Shout out if she ever sees this, I love you. You changed my life. So she left, but she told me that she knew that I had the tools, but that I just needed to keep working on it, and if I ever felt like I couldn't do it anymore, that I needed help again, then she referenced me some people. I lost the references, but also I'm not sure those people even work there anymore, so, you know, I would just have to find a new therapist. But she was wonderful, and I tried to see another therapist at my college after that, like years later, and she was awful, and I really was like, oh, this is why people hate therapy. Like, some therapists just aren't very good at their job, or maybe, I don't want to say that because that's subjective. I think I wasn't the right patient for her, because my first therapist, me and her clicked. She was everything I needed at the time. So in the early parts of my relationship, I want to like preface, because this is going to come out really sudden, but I just want to preface like a trigger warning, I guess, if like you are triggered by self-harm or suicide or anything like that, that I'm going to talk about that soon, or right now. But like in the early parts of our relationship, and pretty much throughout the first couple years, there was a lot of fighting. I didn't want to live at home, so I would stay with him a lot. He was struggling to pay for the place that he was living, and he was kind of homeless at the time. It's very complicated. The whole situation was very complicated. Basically, just the finances it was a real burden on us, and we were young and stupid. There'd just be a lot of arguments, and they would escalate very quickly. I felt like he was the only person in the world that loved me and that I trusted, and he was the only person that mattered to me, and that's a very, very unhealthy and toxic way to think. And I don't think I would say that out loud at the time, but I know if I were to be completely honest with myself, that was how I was feeling, was that he was the only person in the world that mattered, and you know, his opinion mattered, and everything he did mattered, and I had to be with him all the time, and you know, it's very sick and toxic. And I think a lot of the time I paint it out as that he was the toxic one, or that's just how it comes across, and that's my fault, because I shouldn't make it out that way. Not that he was perfect, we were both at fault, but I have to take a lot of responsibility for the fact that I had a very toxic behavior, and I don't know how else to describe it. I just wasn't in a good place, and so I was very controlling. You know, fights would escalate. It would get to the point where like I'd pull knives out. He would have to take knives out of my hands. Like, I don't want to get too much into it because it's a lot. I can't say like it was a full attempt at suicide, but like that there was a lot of attempts, I suppose. It's hard to talk about because I love him so much, and I know he loves me, and to think that we were in such a dark place, that we felt stuck and trapped, and that we were just like basically having to like pull each other out from the hole while still being in the hole. Like, you know, it was crazy. It was really crazy. One of the last fights we had before, you know, things really just started to, because everything kind of went up, and then went down, was I had a bottle of pills, and I put them all in my mouth, and I ended up spitting them out. You know, it was just not good. We were just in and out of homes and everything. But now he's living with his family, and once he started to move in with his family, I kind of realized that there wasn't room for me because the house just wasn't very big, and I'm getting older, so obviously I'm craving space. And I think the whole time we just wanted to be independent people, but we were too messed up to do that. But then we were getting better, so that's why we broke up. You know, we kind of found ourselves, and now we're back together, and I feel a lot better about it. He's so much better. Like, he's so nice to me, and like he really like knows how to handle everything that I'm going through and knows how to handle his own feelings and everything so much better. I thought I was better, but I think I still have work to do. And so the reason I'm like making this is because so today I used to self-harm a lot throughout those years. It started in high school. I would like hit myself a lot, like in the head or with objects, mostly because I don't like blood. So I know a lot of people who self-harm, they cut or they draw blood in some kind of way, but I don't like blood and it hurts and leaves marks and whatever, so I would just hit myself a lot, just out of like anger and frustration. I would give myself bruises on the legs, and you know, people would ask where they were from and I would lie. I did them. So today, I was just feeling very anxious. I've been feeling very anxious. I think living back at home has brought up all the old feelings again that I used to have, that I was running away from when I was in and out of multiple places. John like helped me a lot. Now that I don't have him with me every night, it's hard. It takes a toll on me, and everything's just been hard. I'm really at a crossroads in my life, and so we got in a fight. And it was a really stupid fight. I'm just upset for very silly things. I'm feeling very insecure and a lot of that stuff. And he was so patient and so nice and so wonderful. But we were just fighting, and then he had to leave. And I felt like I was in this, I don't know how to describe it, but I get in these states of like panic or something. But I just feel like I can't even sorry, I'm cursing. I don't care. I can't even like talk. I don't want to be alive is the main thing. I just feel so stuck, like I want to die. It's really hard because like I'll come out of it and I'm like, why did I want to die? And I don't think I really want to die, but I just stop. I don't want to continue living because it's so hard, because I'm in so much pain. And so I was gonna leave, and I took my car key and I started like jabbing myself on the wrist, which by the way I could not like go full in or like in, because I'm such a wuss. Like, I know it's not good to say that the person's a wuss, but it's like, you know, I don't like blood or anything like that, but I just wanted to show, like, I don't know if it's gonna focus. Stop focusing on my face. Just stop. You know, it's so annoying. This is like giving me, this kind of stuff really gives me anxiety, and I cut it out, but it really gives me anxiety. Finally, Jesus, so annoying. It's still barely even. I think that one's like the worst one right there. Like I really just like, I scraped a layer of skin off. It was really bloody before, and then John just, you know, he just like held my arm like a tissue over it and just like talked to me. And like, it's hard because I think people aren't in support of my relationship with him or have a lot to say or whatever, but they're not there for those moments when he's doing that. He means the world to me, because he's been the one throughout the years who's been there, and like, no matter what I do to him, I do horrible stuff to him, and he's still there, like holding my arm, trying to stop the bleeding and like talking me down and telling me he loves me. And he still loves me, you know? And then, you know, I was hitting myself in the head. Like, I was like stabbing myself, and then I started hitting myself on the head. It's like I kind of black out a little bit, to be frank. I got in an argument with a friend recently, like a really deep conversation, because I have issues with this person. And I said some things that, like, you know, I didn't feel right about later, but I swear it's like I black out, and it's so scary. I don't know what that's about. It used to happen a lot more, but it doesn't happen as much anymore. But you know, today was just one of those moments. I just kind of wanted to own up to it and talk about it, because sometimes, and this is part of what my breakdown was about today, sometimes I feel like I'm never gonna get better, that I'll never feel better, I'll always be in pain and I'll always be miserable. And I'm not like always, but it's just like I have this constant thing that I'm battling, and I feel like it's never gonna go away. And maybe it's not, maybe it'll just be more livable. I think that's what's gonna happen probably, but I wish it would just kind of go away, and I wish I could just be normal. But I try not to live with any regrets or saying I wish I didn't do anything, but this was not a good idea. I could have like seriously injured myself, or you know, there's veins and arteries there. You could kill yourself. Obviously any kind of self-harm, you could seriously like end your life. And you know, there's been many times where I've taken that risk, and it's like whenever I get out of it, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so lucky that I didn't die. But it sucks that it takes me up until that point to realize that I don't want to die. There's like a really good video about this, and it's by this girl named Claire, and she just recently passed away. But I'll link it below. It's a beautiful thing. I'm not gonna explain it because I'm sure this video is already too long. I just want to like reach out. Like, if you are dealing with stuff like this, I've been dealing with this for years, and I would say for six or so, maybe 7 years, I've been actively working on my mental health. You know, that's when I started going to therapy and working on things like that in a real like analytical way, like actually admitting that I have a problem and those kinds of things. And I still sometimes, I don't like the phrase 1 step forward, 2 steps back, because that just means you're going even farther back. I think it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, because you'll have really great progress, and in the long run you are making progress. But there are days when you go back, or moments or months or years or just whatever, where you have a bad time or a hard time. It makes me anxious to talk about this stuff. You should know that it's okay, and I'm trying to say this to myself and to you, and I'm also kind of reaching out for help, and I want someone to tell me it's gonna be okay. And I kind of want to also do this to keep myself accountable and track how I'm doing. I like watching videos like that because that's where I feel like the social media aspect comes in. It's like a sense of community and communication and talking and understanding each other and sharing our stories. And it's also therapeutic to share your story and to reach out and to watch yourself grow. And I want to track. I have days like this, and I always repress those kinds of things or just try to move on from them, but I don't want to forget today or that this happened or these thoughts or anything, because I just feel like it's important to talk about this stuff. For so long I felt like I couldn't talk about it, or people made me feel like you're weak if you struggle with this kind of stuff, like you're less than. It's like it's such a first world problem and stuff, and to be fair, it is. If you look at the hierarchy of needs, you know, it's like whatever. But I gotta say that when I was struggling to find a place to live or to eat or pay my bills was when my mental health was at its worst. I don't know, there's something about my brain that I'm just programmed this way. And anxiety and depression, a lot of mental illness runs in my family, as well as substance abuse. Not that, again, I don't have a substance abuse issue, and I'm not saying that to be like, I'm not being weird about it. It's just one of those things where, like, I want to make that disclaimer that I'm not struggling with that. If you are, that's also something that's very personal to me because it runs in my family, but I personally don't struggle with that. I think that at one point in my life I could have potentially, but I stopped, mostly because I just don't think it really worked for me for whatever reason. Everyone's different. Everyone has their own demons that they have to face. I just wanted to like make this video reach out, and to anyone who's my friend, if you watch this or if you have trouble understanding me or anything like that, I hope this is a little bit of an insight as to what goes through my head, because I can't, when you text me what's wrong, I can't answer. I tried to stab myself with a key. What's up with you? Like, it's very difficult for me to just get into that right away, and maybe it shouldn't be. Maybe that's a me problem, which it probably is. I shouldn't be so repressive and those kinds of things, but it's just a lot to repeat to like 10 people and have to relive it over and over again. So I'd rather just say it once and have everybody hear me, which is what social media is for. But I often feel very censored, and I think this is just my first step into I'm trying to just be myself, because even my other videos I just feel like I'm just not always 100%. I don't know. I thought I was gonna cry more because I was like sobbing earlier today, like non-stop. I just wanted to film this. I'm probably gonna edit it and upload it quickly because I want to get better at that and get faster and just push them out more, because I do want to just make videos and make something, because I think it'll make me feel better. I don't know, I'm just trying to make myself feel better. If you have any questions or anything, like, talk to me for real. I'm just looking for people to talk to, and I'm reaching out, and I'm literally shouting into the void, and I'm just shouting, like, hoping somebody's gonna hear me, because I have a lot to say and like a lot of feelings to express and a lot of experiences, and my story I really feel is important, but I very often feel like it's disgraceful, and I don't think I should, because this is part of who I am and part of what brought me here today, and what makes me strong in the moments that I am strong or whatever is the stuff that I've been through. So I want it to be my badge of honor, and I want to share it because I want to reach out to people who are going through the same thing or similar things. I don't want to be like feel silenced anymore, if that makes sense. Hopefully subscribe. Talk to me, comment, whatever. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I'm rambling and I want to go to bed, but it's because I have OCD, so I feel like, not OCD, but it's like my obsessive compulsive thing where I feel like I need to like feel complete, and that sense of completion never really comes. That's like the worst part. It's not like the anxiety is just forever, and that sense of completion, it's like Ethan on H3H3 on the podcast, he said, you know that feeling before you get on a roller coaster? Imagine that, but forever. You never actually, even if you ride the roller coaster, it doesn't go away. You still have it even on the roller coaster, even after you get off. That's exactly what I feel like. I didn't know how much, I could relate to him. They've helped me like so much with my anxiety, and to be frank, they've helped me more with a positive self-image and being body positive and feeling good about myself more so than anybody, and I think they get a bad rap for a lot of dumb stuff. I'm rambling so much. They're a really good influence, and I think people don't need to understand that and don't realize that. I mean, do you? Everybody has a different person that they look up to or whatever, and different things work for different people, but don't knock them. They've done a lot for me, and I'm sure many other people, so whatever. I'm gonna stop talking because I'm over it. I need to go to bed. I have work tomorrow, so thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I don't know you yet, but I love you. I know it's weird that I'm like, I love you guys, because nobody's watching. I don't know you. Maybe someone in the future is watching this one day, but I love you because you're watching me and we're connecting and I feel it. I don't know you, but if you tell me, if I met you because you're like, I saw that, I know you, like, because you know me, and so now I want to know you. If you accept me anyway, if you're like, I watch this and I hate you, then maybe we should just agree to disagree and go our separate ways. Rambling still. I love you. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and do whatever. Check out the description, whatever. My recommended YouTuber will be that girl I mentioned, Claire, I guess. I don't know if I'm going to keep recommending YouTubers. No, I will, because Peter Mon told me to. It's hard to say goodbye. I feel so anxious. I'll see you guys later. Hopefully. Please. But until then, peace out. Is that awkward? See you next time. Bye. I don't know what to say. I'll see you guys later. I'll see you guys next time. Please subscribe. I said all that. Stop repeating yourself. Okay, sorry. Bye.